Okay, another great resource for health data at the state, national level, as well as by the occupational group is the Bureau of Labor Statistics has their injuries, illnesses, and fatalities program. And they actually do an annual survey, and they also do a census of fatal occupational injuries. So when people refer to being a police officer or firefighter as being a dangerous job, and some people say, oh, being a coal miner is an even more dangerous job, or any of that type of stuff, or being a garbage collector or something like that if you're running a trash truck. How do they know that? Well, they use information like this that's available from the Injuries, Illnesses, and Fatalities website. Detailed data on non-fatal injuries and illnesses, including occupation, event, source, and nature, can be found using the case and demographic data tool. And they have all these different Excel files. Sometimes it's hard to narrow them down. They don't want to provide too much information, but if you wanted to look at which industries, those are big groups, or which worker characteristics, those types of things, you can. So we'll just click on detailed industry by selected natures as an HTML file, and then you can see which industries have the most cases. Now these are the cases based upon the total amount, so all industries, they're right here. You have to look further to determine how many people actually work in those industries, so that might require an additional few steps. So you would have to actually look at the total number of people in these various industries to make any particular determination. So 70 people in the creamery, buttering, manufacturing industry end up as a case. Well, it's 70 out of how many people? So all industries, you can see how many people get hurt and cut from these different things. So you can use this type of information using old data. This is 2020, but you can do 2019, 2018, go back in time to see if changes in practices have reduced the case rate on these different injuries. So this is all national level. Trying to get the information down to the state level, sometimes a little more challenging. There might be a way of pulling it out of their system, but here's highest rates for total cases for different jobs. There's ways of pulling their information. So these are rate. So the rate is you know, a little bit more beneficial. So if you're wanting to do this, I was mentioning to a couple folks about looking at state plan states, OSHA state plan states versus OSHA run states, and you can see, you know, the rate of non-fatal work injuries by state and case. So so this information's out there, but it's all at the state level. We can use this to look at total rate of cases involving time away from work. There's ways of downloading this data or getting a table where it provides you the numerical numbers that go into it. But going much deeper than the state level in these larger occupational groups, if you were to do that, you know, requires potentially doing a Freedom of Information request to OSHA or the BLS if they can provide it. Other people use this information. BLS has data on occupational. You know, if you were to use BLS, there's all kinds of other labor statistics that are out there, like inflation calculator, pay measure comparison. What's it going to be like in terms of employment and wages? What are they for your state? What are they for the country? Which areas have the greatest need of projected number of workers? By NAICS code, like which occupational group, or which occupations based upon ones that require bachelor's degrees need more people. There's all kinds of information there, but for public health and environmental health, we were primarily at this point just looking at the injuries, illnesses, and fatality database. So that's all on the BLS IF data.